Welcome to episode 53 of the We Don't Know Jack podcast. We were going to have a guest today, but it didn't quite work out. So it's just me and Emily on the last minute schedule here. But we're here. We're going to have a good time. Very last minute episode. We had a whole plan for a guest, and we had to move along a little bit. We'll have her next week.
Hopefully. Yeah, next week.
Hopefully. We got to reschedule. So she'll be back. But unfortunately, we couldn't have that guest. So it's just us. You're stuck with just the two of us, which is always fun.
I hope, because I threw this together last minute.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks. We're getting close to finals time, and it's getting busy.
Let's be honest, we don't have finals.
I actually do this time, not like tests, but like
for one class,
it's a 10-page paper.
I'll be honest, one of my classes wanted a 10-page paper. I turned in a 6-page paper. I still got 100%.
That was an online class, though.
Still.
Online classes have different rules.
Online classes don't care.
No, they don't. No, they don't at all. But, yeah. So, we got a big day tomorrow. I'm directing the Lindy's.
Congratulations.
That's not a congratulatory thing. I was kind of just told I was doing it. Ran through some stuff today, looked through the graphics, the scripts. Everything's looking good. I have no idea what I'm doing directing it, but live sports is easy. You just tell the story of the game. This will be easy. It's a pattern. It's,
Well, I mean,
hard cam, screen, wide shot.
They picked you
cam.
for a reason, though.
I don't know if they really picked me. It was more of just a thing that happened.
Well, they told you were doing it.
Not really. I say that, but she asked for a volunteer. I looked around the room and I was like, well, I'm the only option.
Did you raise your hand?
There was no real other choice. I looked around the room and I was like, I'm the only one that knows how to direct.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, well, if she doesn't tell me I'm doing it, I might as well just volunteer.
Okay.
It was quicker that way. I also won an award on Sunday, and none of you guys came to watch.
Because I was gone.
You
want to say what the award was instead of like
I think we already talked about it, but I won the Martha Boyer Award for Excellence in Radio and Academics. Apparently, I'm smart and I can talk.
We knew the talk part.
I'm smart too. I got brain power.
You do.
No, Chad presented it to me. It was a real nice award.
Yeah.
He gave a nice speech about how good I am at things and how good of a student I am, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in a spot where I'm standing in front of like 100 and something people and somebody's saying nice things about me. You showed me the video. That's what I thought was weird, that they brought you up on stage. Yeah, just to stand there.
While he was giving the speech. Usually they give the speech and then you go up and get it.
You can find the video on the main media page, College Arts and Humanity Awards 2025. I haven't looked for it, but I am so awkward sitting there.
I would be too.
I'm like, I got my thumbs in my pockets. Cause I stand like that a lot. My hands in my pockets. And my thumbs or my hands in pocket.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard for me. And I'm standing there. And I'm kind of like, how I kind of stutter step around a little bit sometimes? I can't just stand still.
Yeah.
Kind of stutter stepping around. I'm looking up and around. I'm looking down. I'm looking at my shoes. I'm looking at people in the crowd.
It was like the embodiment of ADHD.
Yeah. I'm looking at my family. I'm looking at the girl that won the other award that we know and that we're friends with. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at Chad. I'm looking at my grandma. I'm looking at my grandpa. I'm looking at my mom. Looking around all over the place and, just looking around. Staring at my shoes. And, he finishes up. He goes, I go to shake it. He hands me the award, and I go to shake his hand. And this is the most aggressive handshake. If you guys have heard of the Donald Trump handshake.
When he, grabs you and pulls you in.
It was like that. But, I could feel my arm, jolt. Mm-hmm. It was the most solid handshake. And it was he was like, you deserve it. It was a cool thing. What was really cool, I posted the pictures on Facebook. The picture with me, one of me, and then one with me and the other two girls that won awards in our program. And the teacher that got me into journalism that I've talked about before with you, I don't think I've ever talked about him on air, but he got me into journalism. He's a great guy. Commented on it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was because I hadn't heard from him, and he says happy birthday to me every year on Facebook. But that was cool. He was the first one to comment too. So that was cool to hear from him, that he was proud of me for that. And everybody, a lot of people were excited for me. You know what aggravates me though, just a little bit? It doesn't actually aggravate me. But
no.
I think it's funny. So I posted this picture, and it got so many likes. My grandpa posted it, and he reposted it. And half the amount of time, he had almost double the likes that I had.
He's stealing your likes.
And it was all had more comments too, which is great. I'm not upset about this at all.
Were the comments like congratulating you, or were they like, "Oh my god"?
No, they were congratulating me.
Okay, I was like, if they were like, "Oh, congratulations," so like your grandson did this.
It was a little bit of both, but it's cool though. I'm not actually. I just think it's funny.
Oh yeah. Well, does he have more followers?
Oh, so many more friends than I do.
Okay, that's why.
I have like 300. He has like 1,500.
He's got a lot of
He knows everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought my mom reposted it and that got a bunch of likes. It was cool. Yeah, I was told that it's a pretty cool award.
Well, yeah, your name gets to go on.
I get my name on a plaque.
Hopefully by the time I'm graduating, it's actually on there.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to get on them about that after I leave.
They're a few years behind.
If my name's not up there by like next, I don't know, October, I need you to get on that for me, okay?
Sure, I'll mention it to Chad.
And maybe it'll be up there before you or even Kate graduates.
Oh, dude, if it's not up there by the time Kate graduates, you know they're not putting anyone else on there.
I think Ethan Hannaford was the last one to get his name up there, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, because they have the person that won before you and now you. So they're 2 names behind.
At least. I think there might be another one in there.
I think it's only 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was an interesting ceremony. There's some interesting people that go to Lindenwood.
That you saw?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. It's the Arts and Humanity program, so, you know.
Yeah, you can.
That's all I'm going to say on that.
You can infer from that.
That's all I'm going to say on that. But Chad really does give that Trump handshake, that super aggressive, like,
you didn't even point it out. You showed me the video.
You can see my arm,
he dragged you in.
Yeah, that's a good handshake, though. That's a solid handshake. Then we went out to dinner afterwards. We went to, you ever been to Fratinelli's?
I've heard of it. I've never been there.
Fancy Italian place we went to.
But where is it?
It's up on Zumbel.
Okay.
Over there by, you remember that GameStop we went to the one day?
Oh, yeah.
It's over there. In that general area.
On Zumbel.
Yeah, somewhere over there. Man, every time I try to come back from something, like I tried to go to McDonald's last night and it was closed. And I was coming back and I don't know my way around St. Charles at all. And I was trying to come back. And you know how when you go down Zumbel, if you don't turn right in time, you end up on the highway?
Yeah.
I turned right too early. And ended up in like some parking lot. And I was like, well, that wasn't the way to go. And I turned around and then I was like, oh, let's go to Taco Bell. And there's a Taco Bell directly across the street. Mm-hmm. Didn't know that. Put that in the GPS and it takes me there. I was like, that's not the one I want to go to. I want to go to the one over in Dorset.
Why does it matter which Taco Bell?
Because it was closer to school and it would take me back easier that way. But yeah, I got me some nachos last night after I went into work for a little bit.
How were the nachos?
They weren't great.
I figured. It's Taco Bell nachos.
They used to be so good.
What did you get on the nachos?
It was just a Nacho Bel Grande with no sour cream because they put too much on it. So here's the thing. You can go to Taco Bell, get a Nacho Bel Grande, and it's like $7 or whatever.
Yeah.
You go to Camilla's in Eureka, the best Mexican place, my favorite Mexican place. You go there and get some chicken nachos. It's $9, and it's about 4 times the size.
The one time we did go, they were
huge.
Massive. Yeah.
It's huge. I forgot you went there.
When
ice skating, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like...
Yeah, with Casey.
And Ella.
Oh, yeah, Ella was there, too.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That was fun.
Although that's not full-on Mexican because...
It's Tex-Mex.
Yeah, I'm like on the outside of the restaurant, it does say Tex-Mex.
Yeah, it's Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
They're great over there. We're big fans of Camilla's. Camilla's, if you want to sponsor us... I
don't think that's how sponsorships work.
I think the owner's name is Alex.
That's a great start.
Give us a call.
Sponsor us. I don't completely know your name.
I don't know the owner. I never see him. I know Chewy.
Do you know the owner's name?
I think it's Alex.
Okay.
But I know Chewy over there. Chewy's a great guy.
Talk to Chewy.
He's great. He works there. He's a nice man. Oh, Camilla's is so good. I want to go there now. Want to go to Camilla's?
No, I had Mexican last night.
And? You can never have too much Mexican. Ask Casey if you can ever have too much Mexican.
Well, I know for my body, too much Mexican is a thing.
No, you get a chimichanga one night, you get a quesadilla the next, you get some tacos one day, and some nachos. Taste the rainbow.
Skittles. No, So I had Mexican last night with friend of the show, Abby. We went out to Mexican down the road
Abby
from
hadn't been on here in a long time.
And just hung out there. And for dinner tonight, I was like, Qdoba sounds kind of good. And then I was like, no, if I have... Qdoba's not really Mexican, but I would say it's kind of close. It's an Americanized Mexican. I thought about it, and I was immediately like, no, if I have Qdoba after I had Mexican for dinner last night and lunch today,
it's a ticking time bomb.
I'm going to be gone.
That's a ticking time bomb.
I'm going to be glued to the toilet.
A Mexican doesn't really hurt me.
If I have too much, it will.
Believe it or not, Mexican doesn't get me. We never talked about the beans.
The beans?
The beans.
What are we talking about?
From Kate's birthday.
Oh, the beans.
We never talked about the beans. So we talked about it a little bit. We went out to dinner for our friend Kate's birthday. You know Kate. She's been on the show a few times. We went out with Casey and Casey's roommates. We had a good time. Well, I wanted a little bit of refried beans. They gave me a big old plate.
They gave you a whole plate of beans.
It was so much beans. I had it was cold and they were kind of soggy, so they weren't very good. So
it was refried, so
refried beans are usually really good.
It's like mushy anyway.
Yeah, but this was it just wasn't good. And Casey really wanted the beans. Casey has gas that can make a unicorn cry.
I've never heard that saying, but
I got that one from Edge.
One time, he let loose in his truck.
Oh my God.
Jack and I were in there.
We'll tell that story.
No, I'm telling you now.
No, the rest of it.
He let loose, and I was trapped in the back seat, and he refused to put the window down until I actually started gagging, and my eyes were tearing up.
He used to not get out of the car when he would drop me off, and he's like, okay, I'm going to fart. And he would fart, and it would get out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick after that.
Mm-hmm.
That day, though, we'll come back to the beans. But in the car, we decided, this is right after, this is a couple months after, you didn't have your car back yet after the accident?
No, I didn't.
And Casey decided, we were coming back from Hooters, down by Mid Rivers. We were coming back from Hooters, and he decided we were only going to make right turns.
Oh, yeah.
Only going to make right turns. What should have been a 8-minute car ride?
Yeah.
Was about an hour.
It was probably a good 45 minutes.
We could go straight or we could go right, but we couldn't turn left. Well, to get into Lindenwood, you got to turn left.
He found a way back.
And then to get to my building, you have to turn left. You have to go around the whole school otherwise.
Yeah.
And he decided to go around the whole school. And it took, because then we went to my room afterwards and we played football, I think, a little bit. But yeah.
We did.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Me and him were having a great time. And you were like, get me out of here.
Well, because the whole thing about making right turns was I got hit on the left side of my car. And he goes, Emily's afraid of taking left turns. I didn't say anything about this. This was old Casey. He's like, Emily's afraid of left turns. We're only going to go right. I was over it. I was so over it. I was just sitting in the back praying he didn't fart again. And
well, then get it again in my room.
In your room, yeah. It wasn't as bad, though.
Anyway, let's go back to the beans. Beans. So, apparently, Casey has tried to fart over the central air duct in his house to try to make it go down to his roommate's room in the basement. And last time he did it, he got tackled.
Yeah.
They were drunk. And Dan was not thrilled that I gave Casey a box full of beans. Mm-hmm. So we get in the parking lot. Dan's yelling about it, whatever. And he rips it out of his hand.
It was in a styrofoam box.
Yeah, he rips the box out of his hand. And Casey starts chasing Dan all over the parking lot. And these are two not small individuals.
This was also the night of
that tornado.
The tornadoes came.
It was bad.
So it was already windy and about to storm while the rest of us were just watching grown men chase each other yelling about beans.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever... I don't know why we didn't record it. Nobody thought to record it. But man, they're chasing each other. Neither one of these two ever run.
No.
They're chasing each other around the parking lot. Just running. Casey's yelling about his beans.
Yeah.
And then eventually Kate gets involved, and Casey stole Dan's hat. And
yeah.
trade off with Kate as the moderator. And Casey hands the beans to Kate, and Dan has his hat still. Or whatever, whoever has what. The beans are with Kate. And Dan grabs the beans and his hat and just bolts again. At some point, Casey caught up to him and grabbed him and, like, smashed the container.
The box somehow opened, and the beans got
on Dan's
everywhere.
Hat.
And on Dan's hat. And Dan, he just comes up to the car and goes, "The beans are on my hat." Like, yelling about it.
Did you flinch when I moved my leg?
No, I leaned back.
Okay, it looked like you just about jumped out of your chair when I moved my leg. I was like, what are you scared?
No, because I was yelling, "The beans are on my hat."
No, it was just weird.
So I leaned back so I wasn't yelling.
No, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, ever.
And Dan was still mad when we got home, too.
Yeah, we get back, and they're screaming at each other. They're not actually mad at each other, but, man, they are screaming at each other.
He brought the beans back home, too.
I don't think he did. I think he threw them away.
He had some kind of box.
Yeah, he had his leftovers. He got rid of the beans, I think, because the box was so smashed.
Oh. But I remember walking in and he was holding his bean-soaked hat.
Casey was so sad. He's like, he called him a bean murderer and just going on and on.
He was yelling out the window.
He was so mad. Did I drive that day? I think I did.
You did.
I think I did. I always end up driving.
Well, Casey had already started drinking. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he drank about a bottle of margarita that night.
Jose Cuervo.
So, I saw this the other day. You know how when we have people on here that have never talked into a microphone before, they put the mic over here and look backwards?
Yeah, it sounds great in my headphones right now.
Yeah. I was watching a thing, and it was Duck Dynasty. It was Sadie's podcast.
Okay.
They were talking when they announced the new show coming back. It's about her kids and John Luke's kids and Bella and her husband and
all of their kids.
All of Willie's kids. It's about Willie's kids mainly. Hopefully it'll be about Reed and
the other.
What's his name?
Months.
Reed and Cole. And then Jeff's kids, because Jeff's kids are having kids now too, which is
okay.
You remember they seemed so little on this show?
They were. I remember when they said Sadie was getting married and she was like 18 or 19.
They're all got married. Bella got married at 18 too.
Yeah.
Lily, Jeff's oldest kid, is pregnant, or he just had a kid, which is crazy. Because I remember watching the show, and they were like younger than me.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're the same age as me. So, but anyway, they were talking. It was a whole family. It was all Willie's kids, and they're in their living room, and they're all with their husbands and wives and stuff. And they're talking about Uncle Si, and how Uncle Si he doesn't like microphones. He stays away from the microphones. Like, you know how half of our guests sometimes, when you hear them, they sound like this because they're a mile away from the microphone?
Yeah. That's
how he always talks. And he does the Duck Call Room podcast with Martin and Godwin and all them. Mm-hmm. John David, Willie's old assistant. They had to get him a headset mic, so they could just put the mic near him because he keeps moving around so much. Yeah. We have that problem a lot where we'll have people come on and they think they're talking to the mic, but they're talking diagonal from it.
Yeah, or like if they look a certain direction, they don't like turn the mic.
You got to turn the mic.
Yeah.
But a lot of people we have on here have never been on a mic like this before. Mm-hmm. We didn't know what we were doing the first time either. If you listen back to the first episode, Casey's like a mile away from his mic the whole time.
That's also just Casey.
That is true.
Even if we told him how to do it, he wouldn't do it.
That is true. He would do it. Yeah. But I think it's funny, though, because we've seen that so many times. Eventually, one day, I would like to get headsets when we start making money one day and can afford equipment. I would love to get headset mics because they're so much easier, but I can't afford
You can take that. I'll stick with a regular
No, I mean,
mic.
eventually, like, after we graduate and we can't use the studio anymore, after we're out of here.
Well, you only got 2 weeks. 2? 3?
You are going to be here for another 6 months.
Yeah.
I can still come by. But I'm saying eventually I would like to get like my own equipment and everything.
Yeah.
I would rather have headset mics. I think they're easier. I would have like one stick mic and everything else headset. Just so if we have too many people, you could pass it around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my goal one day. But we're a long, long way from that. My equipment is bare bones. When I called Glory Pro Show last time with Doug, we had headsets, and they were awesome.
Well, yeah, you had the professional setup.
We had the good setup, and it was so awesome having it Because and it only picks up what you talk into it. So if you need to cough, you turn it up, you hit the button, you cough, whatever. They were so great. And they weren't crazy. They weren't cheap, but they weren't crazy expensive either. Mm-hmm. But it was really, really good setup. I don't know if I'm going to be calling the show, the next one. I don't know if they're doing a broadcast or not.
Yet to be decided.
Yeah, I may be doing the next show. I may be waiting until the Tag Team Cup. I don't know. But hopefully I'll be doing some more stuff there.
Yeah.
With them. Yeah. So let's get into this one, too. Paul Skenes. Cardinals are whooping up on him right now. They scored 5 runs on him.
As of right now.
It's 5-1. He just got pulled. I think this is his worst game.
He got pulled?
Yeah, 7th. He went 7 innings still. Oh. But this guy has the weirdest personality I've seen. I would love to interview Paul Skenes.
I wouldn't use weirdest because there is no personality.
I think he's got more than he lets on.
Oh, so if you haven't seen it, we were talking about
No, we're not talking about one specific thing. We're talking about a couple different things.
Well, the, most recent thing that this is the only time I've actually seen him talk.
Yeah.
There was an interview with him and Livvy Dunne.
Esquire, I think.
Or was it GQ?
Esquire, same thing to me. Esquire, GQ.
It was some magazine company interview. Mm-hmm. And Paul Skenes and Livvy Dunne were asking each other, it was almost like the newlywed game.
Yeah, it was who knows better.
Yeah, who knows most about me.
Here's the weird one in this. So they're asking questions, and I think she asked, how did we meet? And he's like, well, we met at a party, and you came up and hugged me. And she's like, you didn't want to give me a hug. He goes, I didn't know you.
That one was kind of funny.
That made me laugh so hard.
But the rest of it, she would be like, what's my favorite color? And he'd be like,
blue.
Pink?
He got most of them right.
The clips I saw,
I watched the whole thing.
It was very uncomfortable to watch.
I was entertained by it. I think that's their shtick. That she's the outgoing one and the fun one, and he's just in the corner by himself. Because if you watch when he won the Rookie of the Year, he knew he was winning that award. So it wasn't a shock when he won. Everybody knew he was winning that. Jackson Merrill was great, and
but
the other Jackson Torinos was good too. And Mason Wynn was also really good. But when he wins the award, I don't remember who announced it. I think it was Bill Ripken announced it, I want to say. Cal's younger brother.
I don't know who.
You know who Cal Ripken Jr. is, right?
No.
The Iron Man. He played 2,700 and something games in a row. He didn't take a day off for 22 years?
No.
Okay, anyway. It's his little brother. He works for MLB Network. He announces the award, and they cut to Paul because they all knew Paul was going to win. He's sitting there with Livvy, and Livvy is going nuts. She's so excited. She's hugging him. She's kissing him. She's so happy.
Well, everyone...
And he just smiles and just kind of nods his head. He's like, yeah, I won. Everyone
around him was so excited, and then he's just, there, a blank face.
Yeah. Well, he could also have, he might just not like attention. Zach Greinke was like that forever, too, when he played. Well, Zach also had, really bad social anxiety, too. The best one. Do you remember Zach Greinke at all?
I know the name.
He played for the Dodgers and the Angels and the Brewers and the Royals and somewhere in the Astros and
every MLB
maybe the
team.
Diamondbacks. He played a lot of places. No doubt. First ballot Hall of Famer. He's really good. He was a strange guy. So my cousin knew him when he was young on the Royals because my cousin was a locker room attendant down there.
Okay.
Clubhouse attendant. And he was living with George Brett. You know George Brett, right?
No.
Royals legend. Anyway, he's the best player to ever play in Kansas City. I forgot you don't know baseball.
Especially Royals.
Yeah, but you should know George Brett. George Brett's.
No.
You ever seen the video of the guy hitting the home run and getting thrown out afterwards? He's screaming at the umpire?
No.
That guy. Well, he was living with George Brett is the story I've heard. And this is all alleged. I don't know if this is 100% true. There's a tornado coming in Kansas City, and George says, get all your valuables, we're going downstairs. So he grabs his Xbox and all his games.
That's what he grabbed?
That's the story I heard. I don't know if it's true. I know it's partly true, but I don't know the whole story. But, yeah. I think Paul Skenes is similar to Greinke. Matt Vasgersian asked him one time, he was starting the All-Star game in 2015. He said, Zach, do you want to say anything? Zach takes a sip of his coffee, grabs the mic, and says, no. And he just backs away.
I don't think it's a shtick because there were so many clips of him just with no emotion.
You know what, though? They seem happy together, so I'm not going to question it. They seem to like each other.
The interview, it was
I don't think he wanted to be there for that interview.
It's like he doesn't want to be anywhere because it was like she was so like
bubbly and happy.
She was like dressed up for this, and he was there with like jeans and a jacket.
Yep. Oh, I think that's just him. And then he asked you, he was like, "Who was my baseball hero?" And
I saw that.
She said Mike Trout, and then he says, "I didn't have any. I just like baseball."
Yeah.
He just wants to pitch. That's all he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to pitch. He wants to throw those pitches nobody can hit. Somebody asked him one time, what's more likely to happen? Livvy hits your splinker or whatever they call it. He's got a weird name for a pitch. A splunker? I don't know what he calls it.
Okay.
Or him do a double tuck. And he said, I'm going to do a double backflip before she hits that. That thing moves so much. But I tell you what, Paul Skenes, his kryptonite is St. Louis Cardinals.
You better not jinx it.
He's out of the game.
Yeah, but
it's 5-1. He's out. Yeah, no, they should win this game.
Let's hope.
Last year he lost, I think, 3 games, and 2 of them were the Cardinals.
Didn't we go to the one Pirates game?
He wasn't pitching.
I know, but we did go to a Pirates game.
You remember sitting down by the dugout, and you could see that mustache from a mile away.
Yeah, well, the interview, he had a whole beard.
Yeah,
Does he have a beard now?
Evidently. I don't really follow him that closely. I'm not the biggest Paul Skenes fan. I mean, I am, but like, he's a Pirate, so.
Yeah.
The good one was, did you hear about his like debut baseball card, relic card with the patch from his debut jersey?
No.
This card was going for so much money, and he really wanted it because it was like a thing for his. It's a 1-of-1. It's the It's like the little like on my shirt here. You see this thing? It's like the logo.
Yeah.
But it's that patch. They wear on the sleeve. I think it's down here, but it's that official like debut patch.
Yeah.
They cut it out and they put it in a baseball card. It's a really cool card. 1-of-1. They sell for a ton of money. Paul Skenes is going for a stupid amount of money because it's Paul Skenes. He's a rookie phenom. An 11-year-old pulled it out of a pack in Target. The Pirates offered season tickets directly behind home plate for 30 years to get that ticket, to get that card back. Livvy Dunne said, you can sit with me in the booth for a game for that card back.
Did they get it?
No, because the kid lives in San Diego.
Oh, my God.
And I think that's a punishment to have to watch the Pirates for 30 years behind home plate. That sounds horrible. Other than Paul, they got O'Neal Cruz, who's occasionally good at baseball.
No, I feel like...
Hey, we're Cardinal fans right now. Life is rough for us. They've been bad about the last 10 years.
We do have one good St. Louis team.
Oh, yeah, the Blues are white hot. Well, they lost last night.
But
12 in a row.
We beat a franchise record, 12 wins in a row.
Hold on, before we go down that road, let me finish this Paul Skenes thing. That card is in auction right now going for millions. Anyway.
Wait, like 1 million, 2 million, 5?
Ish. Yeah. It was going for a lot last time I looked.
You know what? If I was into baseball and I got that card, I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd keep it.
That card you had, it was so much in the news. Like
I would not tell anyone.
I tell everybody.
And that's how you get robbed.
No, I think it would be in a safety deposit box immediately.
Be impressed on how much people want it. They'll break in. They'll find a way.
I doubt it. But the rumor I also heard was that it was somebody that like opens a lot of packs and like does team breaks and stuff where you pay a certain amount of money for a team and all that pulled the card.
Okay.
They said it was his son that did it. I don't know if I believe that. I think it's a better story that the 11-year-old pulled it.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that the kid was 11 in San Diego.
Well, yeah, like, what would the chances be that the person that gets it is actually a Pirates fan?
0.
And lives there.
0.
Yeah.
0. Because they don't know what pack it's in either. So they can't place it in a certain spot or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blues, they're white hot, 12 in a row. Everybody's been looking good lately.
I am looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs.
Hopefully they can keep it up. I don't really follow hockey closely anymore.
Do you see what happened a few days ago?
Ovechkin?
Ovechkin passed up Wayne Gretzky.
I think we knew that was going to happen a couple years ago. He was getting close. But that was a cool scene when he broke the record. They celebrated like they won the dang Stanley Cup.
He got 195 goals
895.
What did I say?
You said 100.
Oh, God. No, 895
Wayne did that in a weekend.
Yeah, he probably could.
Now, here's the thing, though, about this. Ovechkin tied the goals record. In the same amount of time, Gretzky has about double the assist Ovechkin has.
But if you're talking...
Just goals.
No one was talking about any other stats.
Right.
It was purely just goals.
Right. They did it in the same amount of games.
Or did he do it in one less?
It was either one more or one less, but
I think it was one less.
It was something right there. And that spot he scored that goal from, that left side over there, that's his office right there. Gretzky had his office behind the goal. Ovechkin had that side shot. You leave him wide open like that, he's going to score 100 times out of 100.
Weren't they playing the Blackhawks?
I don't know.
I know he got one, or that might have been the one goal before when he tied.
Yeah, I didn't see the tie one. I just saw the one he dove across the ice and the whole bench came out and mobbed him and everybody was so happy.
And Gretzky was there.
Gretzky was there.
Waiting for him to
He said, Ovechkin said, or maybe Wayne said it, one of them said, I'm going to be the first one to shake your hand after I score the goal. After the record's broken. And that was the first thing he did was shake Gretzky's hand. That was cool, though. Nobody ever thought that would happen. Now, nobody's ever going to touch his points record or his assist record.
No.
Imagine that, though. Like, Ovechkin, you know how good of a goal scorer Ovechkin is.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best ever. Take that, what Wayne Gretzky did, it's like, say, if you take Ovechkin's career and you take away all those points, Gretzky had more assists than Ovechkin has goals, which is crazy because he had, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying here? How many assists Gretzky had?
Yeah. And they're not like Gretzky, they still call him the great
He's
one.
the best to ever play. Nobody will ever.
Gretzky's still the great one, and then Ovechkin is great with the number 8.
Yeah.
So they're not, comparing them. They're just,
Gretzky is still, even with Ovechkin breaking the record, Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Gretzky is the greatest person to ever play hockey, ever.
Yes.
Ever. That nobody will ever touch him.
No, not at all.
It's like in basketball, some of the records over there, like 100 points in a game is never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
John Stockton's assist record, nobody will ever come remotely close to. Chris Paul is the closest, and he's like 3,000 back.
See, I don't pay attention to
the record's
basketball.
Only like 11. The record's like 11,000 assists. Chris Paul's been playing 20 years, and he's still 3,000 assists behind.
Wow.
Yeah, that says how great John Stockton was. And people are like, oh, he had Karl Malone. Karl Malone is a piece of shit, too. That's not alleged. Karl Malone is a piece of shit. He's a bad, bad person.
I don't know who that is, so I'm not sure.
He's third all time in points, and he's a bad man.
Okay, how do you feel about Barry Bonds as a baseball guy?
I don't like him. I think he's an ass. But I can't deny that he had the most dominant season in the history of baseball.
Wasn't he on steroids?
He was on a whole bunch of steroids, but he still had to hit the ball, and he still had a borderline Hall of Fame career in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the guy personally, but I'm not going to say he wasn't a phenomenal baseball player. He's not the best ever, but he had the most dominant peak ever.
Okay.
I think Albert's a better hitter than Barry was, like pure hitter.
Yeah.
He was just more intimidating because he hit the ball 918 feet. Not actually, but like Albert would hit 450, Barry hit 500.
Okay.
I think also I'm pretty confident on this. If Albert had stayed in St. Louis, he holds every record except for hits because he's second in RBIs, he's third in home runs.
Okay.
I think if he stays in St. Louis, he would need like 6 more home runs a year than he was hitting in L.A., and he would have easily done it here.
Well, the thing is, when he went to L.A., he was good for maybe 2 seasons, and then...
No, he was terrible the first 2 years, and then he was really good in 2014, 2015. He was back to himself, and then he just kept getting hurt.
Yeah, I was the whole time he was there were about 2 seasons where he actually did well, and the rest of the time he just...
And that says how good he was, even having bad years out there, because he still hit 300-something home runs out there.
Yeah.
Because he hit 450, 440, what did he hit? 450-something here. So he hit at least 250, 300 out there, which he's hitting 30 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the Angels released him, just out of nowhere. You know, Mike Trout is like Jesus out in L.A.
Yeah.
They love him. I don't personally like him, but he's a big deal out there. When you have a player that's arguably the best player in the world, you tell him when you release his hero. Because Mike Trout grew up watching Albert.
How old is Mike Trout?
Mike Trout is young. I don't know. But Mike Trout was a rookie in 2012. So it means 12 years before that. So he was probably, 10 to 22 watching Albert. Okay.
He's a 33.
Okay, so he grew up watching Albert. Go back to 2000. He grew up watching Albert. And he said before that was his guy. Everybody loved Albert. But they didn't tell Mike Trout they were releasing him, and he found out on Twitter. The story I heard is that Mike Trout was crying. He was so mad. How do you release Albert and not tell your franchise star?
I think you would tell the whole team.
You would think. It's like, hey, Albert's been a huge part of this team leadership-wise. Like, you know, he'll be back in a leadership role, air quotes, because he's supposed to be doing 10 years there, but he's not. Here's what I want to happen. Here's what I want to happen here, all right? Ollie, time to go.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yachty manages.
The whole team?
Yachty's the manager because he's supposed to be managing soon if he shows up.
Okay.
Yachty manages. Chris Carpenter's pitching coach. Matt Holliday's a hitting coach. Albert's the bench coach. And Wainwright does the other job. Whatever's left.
You could do...
And
you could do Waino for pitching.
Or Chris... I think Chris Carpenter. Either one.
Yeah.
Really, either. I'm okay with either one. I just want that if we get those five back together, Albert, Yachty, Carpenter, Holliday, and Wainwright as coaches.
I think
Matt Holliday's a hitting guru.
Yachty, I definitely see coming back. When, I don't know.
He's supposed to. He has a job, but he just hasn't shown up for it.
Well, he's like coaching or running some team in the Dominican.
Yeah, he's managing down there.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be up here soon. And I think wherever he goes, I think Wainwright goes with him. And I think Albert comes.
Unless, sometimes they throw random things in the, clauses of the contract.
Yeah, that's what Albert has. He's got the 10-year deal in L.A. But even then, in 10 years, like I said, it'd be 8 years now. Even then, I'd be okay with it if we don't get him for 8 years. But think about how great the team would be with those coaches.
You also need good players, too. You can't have bad players.
Right.
And then
I think those guys
coaching.
can make bad players into good players. I'm not saying bad specifically, but, have you heard the stories about Matt Holliday's coaching? He fixed Matt Carpenter. You remember Matt Carpenter was amazing, and then he sucked? He's the reason he's the one behind that comeback.
I always liked Matt Holliday.
Everybody, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? I'm trying to think. Ethan and Jackson Holliday, his kids. Jackson was the first-round pick last year. Ethan's going to be the first-round pick this year. They're that good. Have you seen his kids?
I've heard about the kids.
Roughly our age. Ethan's a little bit younger. I think Jackson's your age. Ethan's a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're about 12. They got the most baby face possible.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, Matt Holliday kind of did. From what I remember.
Matt Holliday's one of the strongest human beings. Sneaky strong. You don't think about it because he's a baseball player, how strong he is. But you look at him, look how big his arms are.
I'll have to pull up
He's a big individual. And he's a dang good hitter, too. But he would be... Him as a hitting coach needed to happen. I'd even say if you can find a way to get Skip Schumacher in there. Because Skip's down there managing in Miami. And he won Manager of the Year, I think, last year. Or 2 years ago. And now you got Descalso and John Jay here.
Yeah.
I think you put Wainwright in the job of whatever Willie McGee was doing before he was a hitting coach. You know, when Willie was just around.
I don't know what he did.
No, I don't think anybody did. I think he was just around.
He just gave off
I think he was a special assistant to somebody, but he was just kind of there. I mean, who wouldn't want Willie there, right?
Yeah.
Willie's the man. I'm glad you know who Willie McGee is. I was a little worried there for
I went to opening day, so I would see. I've watched opening day almost every year, so all of the people when they go around.
He's the man. But this system they're going with lately, the last 2 years, when they're just bringing back old Cardinals,
Yeah.
That are like in the retirement home. As much as I loved Lance Lynn, he was old. Matt Carpenter.
He retired.
He did retire.
So.
Matt Carpenter had a good couple months in New York, and he got hurt, and he was never the same. Glad he was back. And then you got John Jay and Daniel Descalso coaching. Daniel Descalso, he's just like he was like just the most average. He did everything he asked him to. He was nothing special like Albert. He wasn't like Lance Berkman. He wasn't like Beltran. He did everything you ask. It's all you can ask for. And John Jay was a phenomenal center fielder. Very underrated. But yeah, I don't know. That's more baseball than I've talked in a while.
It's just the whole baseball recap.
So the Cardinals are good this year. Could be good this year. They have the pop. If they could pitch.
That's been the issue for a while, though, is a pitching.
Yeah.
And they just don't
do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't sign any. They signed some minor leaguers this year. They didn't do anything.
No.
I don't understand. I think I could have talked to Mozeliak at that thing we went to.
Well, Mozeliak's going to be gone.
I walked right past him, and I said, excuse me, to get past him. I wanted to stop and say something, but I thought in the back of my head, man, I might say something dumb.
Well, he came in and walked right out.
Uh-huh. What I liked, Brad Thompson was talking about how they don't button up their shirts because they get hot, like this jackets. And he passed Mo on the escalator, and Mo walked by and said, Bradley, you look like an adult today? Because every time you see Mo, he's in a full suit.
Oh, yeah.
Always. I don't know how. It's so hot in the summertime.
I guess with his job, you kind of have to be.
You don't.
I mean, he's not going to pull a Belichick and just wear a hoodie the whole time.
Mo is very professional.
Yeah.
Very, very professional. But I don't know. What's happening? Birds win yet?
Let's hope.
5-1, bottom of the eighth.
Oh, we're getting live updates as we record.
They should have won 2 in Boston and didn't. They should have won 2 against the Angels and didn't.
That might be the motto of the season.
Yeah.
Should have.
Yeah. Now you got people talking about torpedo bats. Have you heard about these?
Yes, I have.
The barrel of the bats are a little bigger up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And people are outraged about it. It's legal. It's 100% legal. I'm all for it because it makes the game more exciting. Yankees scored like 44 runs in 3 days.
I'm like, why doesn't...
They scored 20 in the second game of the season.
Why doesn't every team use them?
So they have special technology up there that they pay for that no other team has where they custom make the bats to the person's exact swing and how they hit the ball. They take years and years of data. I just watched a video about it. Baseball Doesn't Exist. It's a great channel. He's phenomenal. I don't know his name, but Baseball Doesn't Exist on YouTube. If you haven't seen him, he is absolutely phenomenal. He was breaking down the bats, and the Yankees, they take swing data and all kinds of stuff to figure out where you hit the ball the most. If you hit them off the end, if you hit backside singles, if you square them up, and the barrel's a little bit bigger in that spot. And now everybody's trying to get them. They're getting them, but they're not that custom made to the swing, so they're not going to work right. So it'll be probably next year when everybody gets them, like in the offseason, everybody goes home and makes these bats.
Yeah.
Baseball's going to have some power coming. But you also got to look at the guys that are hitting bombs. Aaron Judge. It's Stanton. It's Paul Goldschmidt. It's guys that were super powerful before.
Yeah.
It's Lindor. It's Volpe. There's all kinds of guys that are these guys in New York that just have power. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be fun, though. I think it's going to make baseball way more interesting. Robbie Manfred, for once, is on board with something fun, which is unusual for him. I'm not a huge fan of Manfred.
It's kind of like people with Roger Goodell.
And Gary Bettman.
Literally any commissioner.
I think if you're just a commissioner, you're just kind of hated.
Well, yeah, it's like you make one wrong decision and everyone's going to hate you for the rest of the time you're commissioner.
Right. That's exactly right.
But you want to get into the segments of the show?
Let's do it.
So,
do you have much for today?
Not a ton, but talking about sports, Jason and Kyla Kelsey just had their 4th daughter.
Yeah, and she brought her on the podcast.
She did. I watched the podcast.
I've never seen her stuff. I see her clips occasionally.
It's so good.
I saw a clip from her on Call. I don't watch Call Her Daddy, but I saw the clip of it.
See, I didn't listen to that episode because I just haven't had time, but I do listen to...
Kylie's funny.
She is. That's why I listen to her podcast, because it's very short and, like, straight to... Straight to the point of whatever she talks about.
She was talking to Jason about how her interns do stuff or her team does it, and he goes, "We don't have any of that." And Kylie's like, "Yeah, you do." They have a whole team I don't think Jason even knows about.
Probably not. But, again, celebrity couples having kids. Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox just had a daughter. Do you know either one of those people?
Yeah.
Which one?
Both.
You do?
MGK. Do I know anything about him? No. Do I know Kevin Owens powerbombed him through a table on Raw one night? Yeah.
What about Megan Fox?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for.
Oh, yeah.
They just had a daughter, although they are not together. They broke up they were engaged, never got married. She ended the engagement because apparently she found something disturbing on his phone, assuming he was cheating.
Allegedly.
But they're both co-parenting, and MGK, from what I've heard, is trying to get back in her good graces, as in trying to get back with her. She's not allowing that.
Have you ever seen the clip from Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and MGK?
Doing the daughter?
The daughter,
She's like, my daughter's 14.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I will say he does seem like a good dad. I've heard that his daughter plays volleyball and he flies out for every single game she plays, even if he's like on tour.
You know who else does stuff like that I just heard about? You know Freddie Freeman, baseball player?
I've heard the name.
Freddie apparently is like the nicest guy in the world. And he'll fly out before a game. Like if there's a game at 7 and his kid has practice at 2, if it's in Atlanta and he's in Seattle, or not Seattle, but he left like D.C. one time to go home to Atlanta to watch his kids T-ball practice and flew back to the game that night.
For an MLB guy, your kid better be good at baseball.
That just tells you how much he loves his kids.
Yeah.
I got down a wormhole.
There will be a live-action Zelda movie. Have you ever played Zelda?
No, but there's a Minecraft movie.
That Minecraft came out. That has made more money than the Snow White
you want to go see
live-action movie. Maybe.
I think it'd be fun. Minecraft's a great game.
I want to read the reviews. I haven't read the reviews of it yet.
It's a kid movie,
But they will be making a live-action Zelda movie coming out March 26th, 2027.
Oh, jeez.
So
they probably haven't started it yet.
Something's going on with movies that they hype it up and they announce like, oh, this is coming out, but it's like 10 years from now.
Yeah, Marvel did that where they announced like 3 or 4 movies for 26, 27, and 28.
Yeah.
I think Hulk Hogan's going to be in one of them because it's the NWO, the New World Order.
Oh, God.
I had to on that one.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Russell Brand, you know who that is?
Nope.
He was married to Katy Perry. Oh, I'm having a stroke.
The British guy?
Yes.
Yeah. He was on one of those Nickelodeon shows one time. I think he was on Big Time Rush. They were having a party at his house or something. Anyway,
he is in trouble. He was charged with rape and sexual assault by British police.
Well,
they said it's from 4 different women between 1999 and 2005. And quickly after that news broke, he posted a video on social media saying that back then he was a sex and drug addict, but never engaged in a non-consensual activity. But he is still going to Florida to give a speech to college students about social and political issues.
Okay.
Because he
Okay, then.
Once he stopped acting, he did...
He stopped acting?
Pretty much. After he stopped, like, what he was known for, comedy and acting, he got into the, like... He was more about, like... Again, social and political issues, but like being a free thinker, and that's what like he promoted.
So Rob Schneider.
I don't know much about Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider was doing the Turning Point tour.
Russell Brand, he was like more independent.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't. He was just like think for yourself. Don't pay attention to like mainstream or any of that.
Because Schneider was doing the college tour for Turning Point for a while. Him and Vivek.
Yeah, he wasn't doing any of that.
And Charlie Kirk.
That would be more conservative. Russell Brand, he was just like government bad, like think for yourself.
Okay.
Don't listen to.
So similar things, but not quite.
Kind of. But he had a whole YouTube channel making videos about that. So he's going on too.
You like Rob Schneider? You think he's funny?
In the movies, I've never really watched him like.
That's what I'm talking about.
Act normal.
I think it was him. He's on his stand-up. He said he calls Adam Sandler in his phone money because anytime Adam calls, it's a movie role and he's gonna make some money.
Yeah.
I like how he just. I know I'm sidetracking everything. I'm not trying to, but anything Adam Sandler, all his buddies are in. David Spade's always there. Rob Schneider's always there.
Jennifer Aniston.
Or Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it's all.
It was one of the two. Jennifer Aniston or Drew Barrymore, and then the guy with the crazy eyes in it.
Crazy eyes.
I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's in Grown Ups. You know, you've seen him. Kevin James.
Yeah.
Kevin James is funny.
Oh, no, I love Kevin James.
King of Queens is a fantastic show.
Yeah. I've seen every episode too many times.
I probably have. I don't think I've seen every episode, but I've watched it since I was a little kid.
But continuing, this is the last thing I found, but Russell Brand, Katy Perry kind of goes together. They were married for a little bit.
Yes.
But April 14th, Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' like space kind of thing. Then every billionaire was trying to go to space.
And
before
Elon
the other
won
one.
the space race.
Was it Elon?
SpaceX is the one that's Elon.
Yeah, but this was like just billionaires trying to build.
Oh, I don't know. I just know Elon has SpaceX.
No, Elon's like in space. This was just to like see if they could like break the barrier between space and Earth.
Oh, I didn't know. I've never heard of this.
Oh my God, it was like the guy.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know anything about it.
Jeff Bezos, his company is sending the first all-female flight to space. It's not actually like professionals because it's Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez who are going to space. Lauren Sanchez is the fiance of Jeff Bezos, and I don't know if it sounded like it started with Lauren Sanchez that she was like friends with Gayle King and Katy Perry.
Gayle King is, but
she was on I believe it was CBS. Let me see.
Oh, she was on one of those news shows, wasn't she?
She was on CBS News.
Okay.
She was a host of that.
I've heard the name, but I couldn't think who she was.
Yeah, but apparently they're all going to space.
Okay. And JoJo's trying to build this game too, by the way.
Who?
JoJo Romero.
Oh. Well, my whole Twitter was just like going crazy about Katy Perry going to space. And Katy Perry's released a few albums that have just done terrible.
I didn't know she was still around.
I think one of the funniest tweets I saw was her albums flopped so bad we were trying to send her to another planet. And I was like, damn. But the All Right Can covered sports for 30 minutes.
Got a little wrestling stuff going on. Mania's in like 2 weeks.
You're going to talk about that.
We got a triple threat. Roman, Seth, and CM Punk. That's allegedly going to main event one night. I don't know why, because there's other stuff going to main event. Cody and Cena is going to be fun. And you got Logan Paul and AJ Styles. That'll be interesting.
Is there like a rivalry?
I haven't been paying super attention. I just know the card.
Okay.
We got a triple threat coming of Rhea, Bianca, Belair, and Io Sky. That'll be fun.
Okay.
That's a no DQ match too, because it's triple threat. That'll be fun. And you got just a cluster of tag teams. Trying to think. You got Gunther and Jay. That'll be fun. We've seen it 5 times already, but that'll be fun. Liv and Raquel are tag teaming against somebody. It's the build. So, you know Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah.
And Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte won the Rumble. She's challenging Tiffany. Well, they got super personal in the ring. That was not supposed to happen. Charlotte just announced her and Andrade are getting divorced. It's her 3rd divorce and she's under 40.
Oh.
People are comparing her to her dad, who's also been divorced many, many times.
It's genetic.
Yeah, it's genetic. I don't know why they got divorced, but she went and did a whole interview about breaking up and all that and how she felt like a failure. And so Charlotte's been known, from what I've heard, to like make it really hard to get over when you're in the ring with her. Like it's Charlotte's way or the highway. Like Charlotte always comes out looking good because she's pretty good on the mic. Tiffany wasn't having it. She was not having it. It said something. I don't remember exact words. Something about can't do shit. And then she said, you're going to be 0-3 just like you are in real life. Or she's like 0-3 just like you are outside the ring, and rolled out of the ring. And like took off. And she gets on the mic and immediately she gets all she got booed. Charlotte got booed out of the building too. Charlotte is not well liked in this town. People are fans. It's Tiffy time. We don't want to see Charlotte. It's gonna be a fun match, but we don't want to see Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's Tiffy time. Well, she says she's dating Ludwig Kaiser, who's also a wrestler. And she goes, how come Kaiser's in my DMs? And he comments on the Twitter post, don't flatter yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it gets super personal. Yeah. I don't love Charlotte. She's great in the ring.
I think
she's not my favorite. She's a freak of nature athletically. She's really good.
She's good, but I feel like they've put her, and I don't watch wrestling, so correct me if I'm wrong. But, well, also her dad, but they've just put her in so much stuff.
Nobody cares.
Because of her dad, that everyone's seen the same thing. They want something different.
Yeah. It's really, and Rhea's starting to get in this boat too, where she just comes back from injury and is automatically back in the title scene.
Yeah.
Rhea's beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte was beloved.
Yeah.
Until she comes back. Like, she tore her knee up one time, was gone for a while, and then came back and immediately won the title. Like, an impromptu match, she won the title, was up in the crowd celebrating, and then lost it like 2 weeks later. They're just trying to inflate the number so she can pass her dad's record. She already passed Trish. I don't know what we're doing. She's got the record on the women's side.
Yeah.
Rick happened organically.
That we know of.
No, it happened organically over time. It didn't happen. He didn't have 3 titles in 6 months because they wanted a hot potato it didn't inflate the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Storylines. He was champion in NWA. He was champion in WCW, WWE, everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was actually champion in WWE. I don't know.
He probably was.
I don't know because he wasn't there a whole lot. Because he was a Jim Crockett guy for a long time, Mid-South, all that. He wasn't a WWF guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a WCW guy. And then he was mostly an NWA guy when he was young. He was in a plane crash. Told him he'd never walk again. Then he became a professional wrestler. Makes sense, doesn't it?
You always got to keep things surprising. You always got to surprise people. So, like, if you're told you're never going to walk again, you better run a marathon.
There's a girl on Survivor right now that was told she could never live alone because she has autism, some autism.
Yeah.
And she was like, I guess she had some trouble with it when she was younger. She's on Survivor right now. She just won a challenge on Survivor. I saw a clip. It was a nice clip. She said, I have autism, and, it was a thing. Jeff was crying. And
how Survivor's been on forever.
25 years.
Only 25?
Debuted in the summer of 2000.
I thought it was longer than that.
Richard Hatch sat naked in a tree.
I'm not going to
You've never seen the first season, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's something that we need to watch. You need to watch the first season of Survivor.
Okay.
It's good. It's way, way, way different than it is now.
I did come up with a little game for today.
All right, what do we got?
I did mention this to you a few weeks ago.
I didn't know about. I have no idea what this is.
Oh, it's movie or music.
Oh yeah.
So I have a title of movies and title of bands.
I've probably never heard it either.
So this is why I came up with the game, because you're bad at both of these things.
Let me say this story. People at my work, a game show, know that I'm very uncultured. We've had Drew and Ellis on here. Yeah. They've talked about how I don't know anything. Worked with a girl I never met last night. I had met her a couple times, but didn't know her. One of the questions was about like Doctor Strange, and I said, who? And then something else. There was a quote from Dirty Dancing that I didn't know what it was.
Oh, this is going to be a great game.
And these like kids knew it, and I didn't. And the girl at work was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I don't get out much. It happens.
You don't even have to get out. You just have to turn on Netflix.
Okay, do you think I'm going to watch Dirty Dancing You think I'm gonna watch Patrick Swayze dance?
No, but you know, it was probably one of the most famous quotes from the movie.
What do you think it was?
Like, don't put baby in
That's
a
exactly
car.
what it was.
I've never watched the movie, but I know the quote. So, I have titles of both movies and band names.
Oh, God.
This category is horror movies or metal bands.
I don't watch horror movies or listen to metal.
You just have to guess. You get a 50-50 chance.
Let's go quick on them.
Heretic.
It's a movie.
Correct.
Oh, I thought it was a band. I was just saying something.
The Menu.
It's a horror movie.
Yes. Factory 81.
It's a band.
Somehow you're doing well.
You can kind of tell.
The Damned.
It's a movie.
Yep.
You can kind of tell. I can kind of tell which ones are.
Behemoth.
I think that's both. I think there's a movie called Behemoth and a band called Behemoth.
You gotta choose
So
one.
I'm gonna say a band.
Yes, black metal band.
Uh-huh.
Faith No More.
It's a band.
Yeah. Let's see. Long Legs.
Long Legs. That's a movie.
Yes. Featuring Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
The Innocents.
The Innocents. That's a movie.
God damn. Dark Funeral.
Ooh, that could be either one. I'm gonna say it's a movie.
Wrong.
Oh man, I was doing so good.
Power Man 5000.
Ooh, I'm gonna say band.
Yes. Well, that was not a fun game.
I did way better than you expected. You can kind of tell which ones are bands and which ones aren't.
You got 9 out of 10.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. Let me see the list. Like, The Damned, that's not a band name.
It could be.
It's not, though. Or like, The Innocents, that's not a band. You can kind of tell. Anything could be a band name, but have you seen Parks and Rec? Anything could be a band name.
Mouse Rat.
Mouse Rat. Let's play that word association game we played last week, and we'll wrap up.
Okay.
All right. If you don't remember how this works, we're both going to say a word at the same time. We're going to try to match the words. If you haven't seen it before, check out our TikTok. I played it with Olivia. I look like a big old slob in the chair because somebody didn't tell me to sit up.
It is not in my control. You just sit that way.
Yeah, I'm sitting up right now.
Yeah.
We're not filming right now, though. All right, you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Pink.
Computer.
Oh, pink and computer.
Pink and computer. Oh, God.
I got one.
We're going to have to pick one direction to go on this one. There's not much in the middle. Pink and computer. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
iPhone.
Color.
Okay.
iPhone color. Ooh. Ha 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 ha. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Black.
Rainbow. What did you say?
Black. iPhone.
black.
My phone is black.
I said rainbow because I was thinking color.
Rainbow and black. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Purple.
Hey,
There we go.
we did it. That was longer than the one with Olivia, but we got it in less guesses.
Because I was like, okay, we're just going to name like different technology now. And then you kept going colors.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to wrap this up. You
Okay.
ready?
I got to think of one.
I got one. Birds win 5-3.
Ooh.
Beat the worst team in the league. Are you ready?
Well, okay, we might be the worst team in the league.
No, they're good on paper. All right.
On paper.
Let's do it. Last round.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Microphone.
Water.
Oh.
I almost said microphone.
We could have gotten it on one try.
Yeah, I know. Water and microphone. All right. You ready?
Oh. I'm trying to... Okay, no, I got one.
Water and microphone. 3, 2, 1.
Soda.
Sound.
Sound and soda.
Oh, I got one.
How do you get them
I
so
got
quick?
one.
I
I got
actually
one.
have to... Because I don't know what avenue
Soda
you're going.
sound. There's one right in the middle.
Soda sound? What?
Soda sound. We got this.
Oh, okay, hang on.
3, 2, 1.
Bubbles.
Fizz.
Oh.
It makes a fizzing sound.
You know how long it's been since I've had soda?
About 10 minutes. I just finished this one.
Since I've had it.
What did you say? Bubbles?
Yeah.
Fizz? We got one. Right in the middle.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Carbonation.
There we go. All right. I think that's a great way to end. We should have a guest here next week. We only got a couple weeks left before I graduate. But try real hard to get us a guest every week. I can't promise it, but I'm going to try to get some people from school that I'm never going to see again after May 10th.
Is it the 10th?
May 10th is the graduation. So, but yeah, other than that, check out our social medias, all that fun stuff. Watch the Lindy's on the main media channel tomorrow at some point in time. Maybe the Roar Network. I don't know what channel it's on. But it's on YouTube. You check up the Lindy's, LINDY''S.
No, find it somewhere.
Find it somewhere. Other than that, we'll see y'all next time.